You're a first contestant. You go home tonight.
I was a bit traumatized by the fact that it's the first week, the first person to be on eviction.
We all came in with the mentality, milioni tano ni yangu. Ni yangu na ni yangu.
I really don't care about trying to form a strategic relationship with contestants in terms of trying to win the 5 million.
Personal relationships will be make or break for this season. You see, we go through life and sometimes we tell you never burn bridges. It starts now.
When you're forced to do a task with people who are self-minded, it becomes hard.
Maybe we don't agree on the same things, but we don't know where this journey will find us in 10 years, in 15 years.
If I don't like you, there is nothing still I can do, but we have to work together at the end of the day and make the thing work.
Before you get to me against you, it is us against them.
With everything that has gone on, both good and bad, the main thing is to learn as much as possible.
Don't let any week find you the person you were last week. There is more to this than just winning.
There's a kid out there who needs to see what I go through and tell themselves, you know what, if Malkia did it, I can do it.
Welcome to Blaze Be Your Own Boss, the G.R.I.T edition. This is the show that brings together 12 of Kenya's brightest young entrepreneurs. Each week, we will test them and we will watch as they develop their own business working together with some of Kenya's biggest brands. They will hope to win a package of 5 million Kenya shillings for their businesses and ultimately become the last boss standing. Assessing their progress will be our 3 judges: music mogul King Kaka, media queen Caroline Mutoko, and retail and advertising star Trusha Ketia. Welcome Angela Washira and Wycliffe Muga of Twiga Foods.
Good morning, contestants. Good morning. My name is Angela. I am the Communications Officer for Twiga Foods Limited.
My name is Wycliffe Muga, the Regional Sales Manager.
Twiga Foods is a food distribution company that deals with fresh fruits and vegetables. We realized that there was a problem in the market, making it fragile and very costly. As such, Twiga uses a single platform that brings together mobile technology, a network of food producers, vehicles, and warehouses. Contestants, would you please choose your team leaders?
In a further challenge this week, the teams will have to choose team leaders without knowing what the challenge is. Can they guess who will be the best leader for this task?
Ladies, your team leader?
I don't know much about food and vegetables, however I know much about pricing. And I think I was picked as team leader because of my expertise in marketing and PR and branding.
Gentlemen?
I feel like this is the right moment for me because I'm also in this field, so it was a little bit easier for me to pick up the task.
First, you will produce 2 juices, one from vegetables and another from fruits. The second challenge will be you identify vendors, 3 from each team, then you go out and try convince them to buy your produce. The third challenge will be you go set up a stall and invite passerby or consumers to come and test your produce.
We will provide you with 30,000 shillings to buy your raw material. The team that makes the most profit will be the winner. Good luck, and may you be the last boss standing.
We chose the team leader before we had what the challenge was about. If it was the other way around, we'd probably have gone with Malkia.
I feel like this is really tailored to actually suit my business skills.
The SEAL team is full of brilliant minds. We're not limited to our ideas. We can think.
For this week's challenge, our teams will have to create 2 new juice flavors, one fruit-based, one vegetable-based. They will have to test them amongst consumers, work out a price, and ultimately sell them at a range of dukas. The team who makes the most profit wins.
At Twiga, we value quality. With our supply chain, we ensure that our quality is closely monitored to ensure that we deliver the best products. So for the contestants, we expect that they should deliver quality produce packaged properly and safely. So if they go and present and say that they are part of Twiga, they need to be extremely professional. And even as they're trying to drive the sales, they need to consider the vendor.
The team leaders divided us, has given us roles, which we are supposed to take them seriously. One, we're supposed to do the market research.
We need to know what the consumer really wants. Okay. And that entails research. And that research should be done at the consumer level and the retail level.
As guys who are in charge of research, we are supposed to move faster so that we get to the answers we need before we do a sample and we take it to those guys in charge of the SMEs. We've talked also to the chef and we have been given suggestions.
Which fruit juice do you think that most people will go for?
Cocktail is a mixture of pineapple, tree tomato, passion fruit, and watermelon.
So the guys talk about researching consumers, but are asking their hired chef.
Well, when it comes to branding, I was like bringing in the idea of having posters. When you're going to have...
Oh, okay.
Wait, can I explain?
Sure.
When I compare Daisy and Sibril, there's a very big difference. I'll say Sibril was kind of rigid to other people's decisions. She wasn't letting people contribute as much as Daisy is letting us contribute.
I listen to every single person. I keep on telling my team, I cannot do this without you guys, and you can't do it without me. So we have to come together.
The juice will make. Should we have a name for it?
Yeah, we need.
Can it work?
Yeah, that should work. I think I support that. I think it will work because we need to we need to make our consumer know who we are in the market.
I'm thinking, since our name is Fit Stops, so let's do fit. Fit in this essence. In nutrition, you need to be fit nutrition-wise and physical-wise. So you keep fit, drink natural juice, fit juice.
Fit juice. I go with that.
It feels amazing and it makes me feel challenged because now after people are now listening to you, I can be more active in terms of group participation. Actually, it's encouraging.
Daisy is listening. She gives you actually a listening ear. And one thing I've noticed about her is she repeats your point so that everybody knows that is your point, that is your point. I think we learned from our mistakes. What Caroline said and stuck, it's like we brought our emotions and our agenda to the table. So what we've decided, we're going to work as a team and support.
Each week, our teams will be supported by an experienced mentor. This week's mentor is successful young farmer, Caleb Karuga.
We'll go do research, try to get what the consumer wants, the consumer needs, what kind of pricing that the consumer, will be favorable to the consumer, and also to the vendors, be able to understand what kind of, pricing can be able to get from them, so that when making the juice, we can be able to make the maximum profit.
So we were thinking of a straightforward deal: make juices, make sales. And then he comes and turns the tables for us and anazichapa tu kichapo hapa hivi ama kimayai asubuhi. No. Have you guys thought of it in a long-term perspective?
Your strategy is competition-based. You want to compete. You want to kick out the guys in the market.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the thinking.
Yeah.
And that's what you call the red ocean. Because the red ocean, there are many people in the juice manufacturing industry. Yeah. Actually, people are not even using real fruit. You're going to compete with someone who does not have the ethics. But the blue ocean is, the market space is not contested. It's not competition-based.
We had been thinking that we are the OGs, but then he came with a new strategy of us to carry our strategy, which made sense. And actually, we turned around some things which are going to actualize tomorrow.
Already we are planning. We are going for mass production. We are going for the general idea, fitness. Nataka kupunguza hizi tire. I want that juice. And here he comes and says, don't make people need it. Make people want it.
You must think, okay, we are going to put a product here. But the client, the customer will say, nitakunywa maji tu. So what will make me take your juice? Apart from the health benefits, that the juice becomes a basic need. It's a must-have in the house.
Why? Me, I was in lane 5. He comes and tell me, exit is on lane 2. Hey, kabla nitoke lane 5, nende 4, nende 3, nende 2.
Identify a problem in the market.
Sure.
Provide the solution. We can talk all day, but what's the problem in the market?
With the mentor's input, it's more like what problem will you be solving? So let's adjust on the nutrition and fitness basis and come up with a strategy that's going to be the it.
My artistic name is Jemedi. Jemedi comes from Jemedari. Back in high school, I was the best rapper in high school. I developed my interest in rap since I grew up listening to Eminem. My first rap song was a secular song that was back in class 6. Since then, I've been doing music up to now. We have 4 albums, 1 mixtape. We have a couple of videos on YouTube. I performed in Groove 2015 and 2016. Yeah, so pretty much that is my music life.
God na mimi ni kama chana na pete. Kwa dage ni kurudi tulikuwa hata mafanso rengi. Dunia ya uongo.
Now it's time for the task.
So when I woke up and there was no sugar for breakfast, I figured, it's on the boys' end. Getting there, the kitchen, what? Watermelon imekatwa, the carrots have been shredded. The fact that these guys were up and about and they had supplies, and huku sisi tuna chill tuambiwe vendor ni nani. Why?
We decided to wake up early in the morning to make the juice because how are we going to go to the vendors and convince them to buy the juice and we have limited time and we don't have any samples?
Huwezi enda kukuta VIP ama boss wako kama una kitu kama CV hivi ama proposal.
Yeah, you people bought produce even before time.
Okay.
Una expect sisi to feel aje?
Well, sawa, that's okay. That's okay. It's right for you to feel that way.
12 of us here came on credit that we are good in our professions. The fact that you've been given rules and guidelines that have been set and you still go ahead and just defy them and sweep them under the rug, I felt bad.
Personally, I wasn't aware that it was against the rules. I was working on directions of the team leader. Had I been told to follow the rules, then I would have thought, yes, there are rules.
We decided that we were not going to concentrate on that, and we would let the director and the mentor know what was going on so as to guide us on the way forward and head out and continue with our plans as earlier agreed. This week, our motto is teamwork makes the dream work. Daisy and Barbara are going to be meeting the vendors and also doing research, which we think plays to their strengths of being good orators in sales and marketing. Myself, Malkia, and Mercy are going to go to G.R.I.T to negotiate for better prices, and then Malkia will be at the core of production.
Barbara and I came to Nairobi West. On location, our primary thing was to actually do our research, our market research, talking to the client and who's a brand partner. Someone from Twiga, who's Jeremiah, that we just met, spoke to him on how the environment is, how the competitors work, and how they go about the entire process in it. From there, he directed us to a few people who would help us, who are in the business. We got insight from them on how the pricing works, how much produce do you need, how much products do you need to generate a few liters of juices here and there.
And at how much is it a glass?
Per milliliters, like the 250 ml, how much can I go for?
That's 100, yeah. 100?
Yeah.
100.
And we were lucky enough to stumble upon Madame Caro, who's also selling juice and she sells gifts. And she even gave us contacts from caterers and people who would buy our juice in bulk. And that was really, really something that helped us. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Actually should be written down.
So 5 liters.
Now SEAL team head to market to buy fruit. But at what price?
3 of us, we are supposed to go to the vendors, to the market, to find out the prices of the fruits, of the merchandise that we need to use.
We go for watermelon, we find a place that's selling it at 600 and above. And we go to another place, we find it for 400. I mean, it's stressful to find the right product at the right price, and having this limited budget was stressful.
We moved around, Manzeju. We really went to so many stores, not finding what we want. The kind of vendors tuna approach ni ma VVIP. I think wamezoea kubaiwa na watu wenye wanaendesha maposh cars hapa hivi. So zile wachapiwa bei maembe moja 30 bob. Kwa nini straw tunaweka kwa maembe itoe juice?
But sometimes solutions are just around the corner.
So when tu tumeingia kwa ndai tumeanza kusonga, I spot a lady na mkokoteni. You know, like so many bright mangoes over there. Niko like, hebu ngoja. Nimejaribu kubagina 10 shillings but amekataa. Ndio tuwezi kataa. Maembe iko sawa. Bedhe ni kubwa na inakaa juicy hata kuliko zenye tulikuwa tumeona za kwanza.
So Monica and I are actually preparing carrot juice, pineapple juice, and finishing up in the mango juice. So this is because Daisy and Barbara called to tell us there's an order at Superspot, and they're also meeting a vendor on their way to Superspot. So they're ordering Superspot. They want to test a sample of what we have, the juices we have. Here's the challenge. When blending mango, you're doing like 3 mangoes to get like 5 cups at once. But with the carrots, you have to peel, you have to cut, and then you're using a juice extractor. So you have to cut into small pieces, then press to extract the juice. It takes time to make carrot juice. But here comes, these guys need 10 liters of carrot juice. Hey, my friend, that's a tall order. It's okay. Now, can you hang up the sasa? Monica has a game. She's brought her A game. She didn't know how to peel carrots, just so you know.
I think I was a bit excited about learning how to use the cutters, and now half of my nails are gone, but oh well. Yeah, it was a good experience. Now I know how to make mango juice.
We had a strategy on the deliberation day. We were very clear. Most of us guys, we don't know how to make juice. So we decided to call a chef. You know, she's very experienced in doing juicing. We thought that her help will be very important to us.
So the secret, just put small ginger.
Ginger is the whole thing.
The chef was there, and the chef told us what we needed to do. I had Kevin helping me with taking the tomato tree from its shell, and basically they helped me with getting the products ready, but I'm the one who juiced them. With the instruction of the chef, everything became a bit more smoother. So we have a budget of 20k, right? 20k, yeah. Alright.
Chair, kindly with the secure guidance, we first need to have a group name before we proceed to the next.
We're getting there.
I'll say Rono is, he becomes the leader of the team without really him necessarily knowing it.
Do you define the choose of Matatu? Is it advertisement? Is it transport? Is it what are we exactly doing? Because we are moving away from transport.
He speaks like a politician.
I had ran in university as a president student council, and I won. So I knew the dynamics of politics. I chose to run for member of county assembly, but I was beaten so badly, and people took a lot of my money. There's always a comeback. That will be hard, but not very soon. I'm giving myself time to build myself, to build my business. Now it's about my business. It's about money.
As long as you're dealing with basic human needs, you'll always be needed. And you can be guaranteed to be in business. However, the guarantee ends at the point where you don't understand pricing. And pricing doesn't start the minute you talk to the distributor and there's the time you have your packaged juice and you're selling to them. It starts from how and where are you sourcing your raw materials from. Price your product very well and leave a very good margin for you and also for your distributors and for the retailers. They are there to do business. Now, if everybody is happy, you will be happy.
Now the girls pitch to retailers to allow them to sell at their dukas.
So it was an easy task. But Barbara came in handy because she understood even the market, and she would go in and like talk in like the designated language that the consumer could understand, especially with the vendors.
Hii ni mango beetroot. Hii ni carrot na pineapple. Na hii ni carrot plain.
When we were pitching to Kamande, I had a disagreement with Barbara because she didn't want us to give him our cups. So to me, I was like, what are we doing with these cups? Either we will come back home with them and we wouldn't have used them.
Daisy hadn't thought about it because at the end of the day, our profits are going to be checked. We spent money buying the party cups, their lids, and the straws, which are bought differently. It didn't make sense to me why we would sell juice to you at a wholesale price, of course, which is lesser compared to us selling it directly, and still give you party cups, and still give you the lids and the straws
But having understood where Barbara came from, I was like, you know what, if you're not gonna give him these cups, then let's do away with the idea of like giving Kamande our juice.
The girls seem to have a production problem.
In every task, there are challenges to be encountered, and one of our blenders actually broke down. So we get a call from the production team that our blender is spoiled and they smoke and things like that.
We have clients, they've placed orders. We hadn't delivered our 50 liters yet at that point. We were literally two pretty ladies with nothing talking about juice, which they don't even have.
Baptism by fire. Boy! So now I had to improvise. Mercy was peeling, Monica was slicing into small pieces, putting them in bowls, and then I'm blending. Peeling, cutting, blending. Peeling, cutting, blending. We just had to improvise.
But I think the production team tried the much they could and gave us deliveries. But what do I say? Things happen. You just have to move on.
So it was a lot of pressure, but at the end of the day, we pulled it off.
Problem solved, but it appears over at Seal, the problems are just beginning.
Wait, guys. There's a client, eh? Anasema ati nini kuna test cocktail kuna fanya test. Can we do that?
When I tasted fermentation, I was like, oh my goodness, what are we doing with ourselves?
We can't keep selling that.
This fermented thing.
Yes. Either it's the tomato tree or the nini.
Earlier on, we had thought about preservatives, but we thought, no, let's go the natural way, all the way. But due to the heat and due to the whole cocktail mixture as a whole, it got bad pretty early. Putting on loudspeaker.
Yes. Team leader.
So they call me, they are panicking. At that time, I'm also trying to sort things out here from, getting the juice to different locations. And I'm also trying to sort my transport back to the site for us to get the fresh juice so that we can start selling.
Team leader hapa hivi amekosa Uber. Tumemwacha kwa entrance, wamwambia wewe sasa shughulika. Si wacha tupeleke hizi vitu juu tunaangalia ni rush hour, tukianza kupatana na traffic huku hivi manzejo. Noma sana.
So unfortunately at that time, also time was running out because we were supposed to close at 4 p.m.
For me, sitting there, you are having a business running and then all of a sudden you are sitting waiting for someone, it is a very bad feeling.
So I get my transport. When I'm on my way back, again they changed their mind.
He had 15 liters, so we are like, no, all that juice can't come here because you only have an hour to go.
This is what I'm saying, eh? There's no need of bringing the juice here and there's no activity while we have a shortage of juice for deliveries.
They're telling me go back to town and I'm like, at this time there's jam. If I get back to town, it's 4 p.m. And the deadline is over.
Do this if we can get just look for an order and then they pay, then we'll deliver. Even if it's after 4 p.m. we can deliver so long as the payment has been made.
He was a team leader, which is all good, all nice and well, but he was not aggressive.
Whoa,
if they make the payments,
not getting it.
Over at the fit stop, the ladies have head home, having completed deliveries.
How's everybody feeling? Malkia, how's it going? You're dying, eh? It wasn't easy processing all those liters, yeah?
To me, I was so comfortable getting them to do the marketing, which they're good in, and me in the kitchen. I felt like, thank God I was not chosen as a good leader. If I was the leader, I would be torn apart between remaining in the kitchen and going to look for market, because at the end of the day, it's about profits. Daisy was good at getting the deals. And on the other hand, I feel like if I wasn't in the kitchen, getting them to make the juice that fast with no experience before, that would be a doom just coming. So I feel this is a blessing in disguise.
The number one lesson I learned is unity is everything. You can't do something when you're one person. But the moment as a group you're united towards accomplishing whatever you want to achieve, you can achieve it. Yeah.
Meanwhile, SEAL team are still trying to move stock.
So we've just decided if we are going to go on that loss of 3,000 shillings, then we are going to sell this inventory. So it's 1880, we can get this money, we can dispose it. We have to use our negotiation skills. It's not easy, but we want to try and convince them why they need it. So we are working within a time of less than 10 minutes. So We are trying to convince these people to buy them, but they are giving us very weird prices because already we are looking desperate. It's like we want to sell them just to recover the money. So they are giving us very bad prices.
Given the time that we were given, I feel like we did a very good job. Of course, if we had more time, we could have made more sales.
We made a profit of 8,780. Owing to the fact that we might have had a competition advantage, all this might come to a waste just because of that tiny mistake that we made as a team.
Jogona hapa. Leo contestants walikuwa na task moja ya kutengeneza kitu rahisi. Pilau. Angalia, waliweka kila kitu. Waliweka watermeloni, kuweka mango. Kevin Karaja akadanganyana ya kwamba kwao supu ndio kila kitu. Akapiga hiyo kitu maji. Kwame naye akajua hapa wamechezwa. Wakati walioja hii kitu, it was not tasting anywhere near pilau jelly. Ilikuwa inaonja pilau ama idha. Careful, ali own up to his mistake na akaanza kuongeza masolid ndio hii kitu ikuwe thick. Hata ataka ni kutengeneza pilau ikuwe ni pilau ambayo ni thick, lakini warembo hakufurahia. Gacha akatuma Malkia, ati aliwaambia wamwekee kidogo, wakamwambia Malkia, BYOB, buy your own bottles. How could they? Hata sio tamu.
So I'm not just excited to meet you, but I'm a little also, what can I say? I feel very big sister because from what I understand, finished high school at 16?
Yeah, 16 turning 17.
Does it bother you? Is it constantly on your mind or is it that people bring it up?
It doesn't even get to me, but when people say it, I'm like, oh, I'm young, but it doesn't really get to me. It doesn't even bother me at all.
So keep that. So the fact that it doesn't bother you is very important for you. Stay very clear that your output is what is important. It's what you're doing that is important, not your age. I have met 19-year-old men and 50-year-old boys.
How do you handle pressure?
I think what I do consistently is that I give 100%. It doesn't matter what I'm doing, I give 100%. And so long as that is in my head, the pressure is off because I am going to give it everything. So anything that goes wrong is really out of my control. Do you, by the way. Do you, my dear. And all the best.
Thank you.
The task is complete. It's crunch time as we head to studio to get the verdict of judges Kaka, Caroline, and Trusha.
Good evening and welcome to episode 2 of Blaze Be Your Own Boss by Safaricom. Ladies, nice to see you. However, I must say the gentlemen look great in bright colors. Now, our mentor for this week's challenge, Caleb Karuga, cannot join us tonight. However, as judges, we had a very detailed meeting with him. And it is based on those details and what we hear tonight that we'll be making our decisions. The very best to each and every one of you tonight.
Brian, do you feel like you delivered 100%?
Yes, I did. In terms of trying to give direction to the team and also, lining what exactly needs to be done at what time. I delivered as a team leader.
Daisy?
This week was a great week for my team and I. First and foremost, I told every single person I cannot deliver this without them. So every single person was up front to actually help us deliver the objective, which was to make more profits and sales. Everybody, personality, everything they do in business came into foreplay, and it was not a matter of us lacking behind. It was what is the focus and who can do what to make this work for us.
Malkia, it would be natural for you, considering you understand juices, to think you should be team leader. Why were you okay with the role you were given?
Prior to us being given the task, we were being addressed by the communications and the regional manager. So what came to mind when they were talking about profits and marketing and selling to vendors was DW, Daisy. Then after the briefing of the task, when it was actually doing fruit juice and vegetable juice, it seemed like I was the best person to lead the group. But then after the challenge started, I was basically hands tied to the blending of the juice. I would not be able to coordinate getting the vendors and getting the sales. So Daisy, being the team leader, was a blessing in disguise in that she was actually leading from her profession and I was leading from my profession.
So how did it go?
For feedstops, we produced a juice called Fit Juice.
Nice.
And our value addition profit to the consumer was based on nutritional benefits and also fitness. That's what we wanted to give, the need we were solving in the society. Our production came into the fruit juice. We had the mango juice and the mango and beetroot juice. And in the vegetable juice, we had the carrot and pineapple juice.
Gentlemen, you heard her rattle it off.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So we decided to hire a chef who is very experienced in terms of making juices so that he can guide us and give us, what taste the consumers could prefer. So at first, we settled on making carrot juice with celery. And in terms of fruit juice, we settled in making cocktail juice and pineapple with mint juice. So the following day, we go to the market and actually try to get what the consumers want.
So 1 second. Already, I think that start is wrong. Do you first give the medicine, or do you understand the problem the patient has?
You go to the ground first and ask.
Or do you go with antibiotics and injection when this person has malaria?
The chef that we had, he is a professional in this field. So we went with his advice. That's because we were tied within the two juices, the pineapple mint and the cocktail.
What were your juices? I know they had cocktail and pineapple and mint and carrot and celery.
One of the catches in the challenge was value addition. You have mango juice. Nutritionally, beetroot has nutrition. So just to add value to the mango juice, we did mango and beetroot. Now carrots, very nutritious, but when blending carrots, there is the remains that are also nutritious. So I had to find a way of using all the nutrients from carrots. Now pineapple is naturally sweet, but light. You can't make a thick juice out of pineapple. Now the remainings from carrots add the smoothness and the add thickness to pineapple and give it a very unique taste, hence adding value to the carrot juice.
This season's all about grit. Greatness requires internal toughness. I want you to describe who showed the most resilience.
I'll definitely go with Malkia, because she was the one handling most of the production work. Me and Monica, we were just assisting, peeling, but she was the one, basically, the rock of the juices we were making.
So, who showed the most resilience?
And I will go for Mr. Rono in the fact that when we settled on a place, the place that we'd given, he showed more resilience in the fact that he brought in more customers and the fact that he tried to sell our juice not only as a brand of drinking, but the health benefit that the juices could bring to the consumer when you took the juice.
When I started, I did say that we'd had a very detailed brief with your mentor. Your juice was prepared 4 hours early. In fact, you started before you were meant to start, correct?
Yes.
Whose decision was it to break the rules and start juice production early?
When we sat down with the chef and advised us the kind of juice that we could produce, so we decided to go to the market so that we could produce these samples so that the next day when we go to the challenge, we could have some samples that our customers can be able to taste and actually give us
The rules for BYOB challenges are not implied, they are clear. Day 1 is planning and strategy. Day 2 is execution. You jumped the gun. Whose decision was that?
I think we were all tense and we were all anxious. And so we all wanted to produce something as quick as possible, and so that by the next day, we can start having results.
Who decided we don't need refrigeration? Because you did have refrigeration.
We had the fridge there, we had the cooler there. But I think the people who were serving the juice did not take the juice and put it back in the cooler. As a result of that, the juice fermented.
So, TK, let's know what our results are.
After all those words, after all those excuses, it comes down to results. SEAL team, your sales were 28,480. Feedstops, your sales were 21,050. So, gentlemen, your profit was 8,780 with a margin of 30%. Ladies, your real profit was 9,650 with a margin of 45%. Congratulations, you guys have won this week's challenge.
Well done. You thought it through.
And what are they getting for that, Carol?
I hear that you guys are off to a spar,
For
and
a
you
spa.
look at them, and you deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. Go on and celebrate. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Team SEAL, please step forward.
Team leader, step forward. And as you do that, kindly nominate 2 of your team members who will be up for eviction.
Number 1, I will nominate Kwame. And number 2, I will nominate Kevin Karanja.
Why did you nominate him and why did you nominate Kwame?
For Kevin, I'll say he's a bit rigid in terms of when he gives ideas. He feels like they have to be considered, and if they're not considered, he gets furious. And that I felt like derails the team behind in terms of making decisions. Kwame, I feel he didn't step up in the fact that in terms of making decisions for the team, he was a bit of in the fence rather than being straightforward and trying to make a decision in case it goes wrong. You can't be able to account for it.
Kwame, why do you think you lost this task?
I think we lost this task because of our leader. But when it comes to leadership, he was not aggressive. For example, the whole situation of the juice fermenting. We had made the juice, yes. We had gotten the fridge, yes. But we asked him specifically to get the ice. So we asked if we can get the ice, but he chose not to. Simply because he decided to say, let's save on money.
Karanja, why did we lose this task?
I believe we lost this task because of our leader too. Some of the decisions he was making were a bit abrupt. Like at one point, we were supposed to make deliveries, and he was requested to carry 15 liters. He decided to carry 10, gave us an extra bottle of 5 liters of juice that we had no idea where to take it to. So if I'm on the delivery team and I have no client on order of where I'm going to take this juice to, what am I supposed to do with it?
Both of them want you gone. So Brian, why should we keep you here?
First, I think should stay in this show because I showed great leadership from my part. I believe that in terms of setting the objective of the task and trying to align both members for the task, to keep them on vision for this task, I did that as a team.
Kwame, why should you stay?
I believe I should stay because I'm constantly learning. Apart from that, I'm a hard worker. During the challenge, I was one who was basically blending most of the juice.
You just mentioned that you're blending juice.
Yeah.
Kazi
Did we have an
ilikuwa?
expert?
We had gotten the chef, but I believe the whole point of the chef was to give us advice. So we paid for the chef, yes. But then most of the juice I was blending.
Karanja, why should you stay?
I showed grit. I showed my toughness. I brought in customers. I brought in orders. I delivered. And to add on that, I was making decisions that were being at one point ignored. I had a brilliant idea of actually using promotion on Facebook to bring in customers because we had a certain target. Students from a nearby university and a nearby hostel. We could have used that to bring in more customers.
Why don't you please allow us to make a decision? Thank you. Please step out.
You heard the arguments. It's time for the judge's decision.
There was no wow in the person you hired to advise you on the juices. Pineapple mint, every restaurant in Nairobi and beyond has it. As for cocktail, it is the mashakura of juices. I mean, you wasted your money there. I'm sorry. While you were focused on profit and the challenge, Fitstops were actually focused on providing a great product and service. And I need to say this categorically. They lost last week purely because of their group dynamics. They had the more sustainable and more business-savvy ideas, even for the matatu. They lost on group dynamics. They picked themselves up and got back to the business. So actually, strategically, Fitstops are better than you guys. Last week you won because they were disorganized, not because you won. That said, however, things don't go wrong. They start wrong. And they start with leadership. Omoke.
Yeah.
It's time for us to say goodbye.
Thank you very much.
However, that said, you're not going home empty-handed. You'll get 50,000 shillings in cash and 50,000 in business support from Blaze by Safaricom. Team SEAL, get together. And I'd like the fit stops, the girls' teams, to be called back in stage. Team Fit Stop, welcome back, and once again, congratulations. I need to say this in your presence because it's important for yourselves and the remaining members of Team SEAL going forward. You won because you were about the product. They lost because they were all about the challenge. And sometimes we lose sight of what it is we're supposed to do. It wasn't about who gets juice out fastest to the fastest number of people. It was about, can you sell that product? Is it worth selling? And we actually know this for a fact. You named your product way before they did. Things don't go wrong, they start wrong. And I do want to see a change in the dynamic on how we go forward. Therefore, I know I'm very, very tired of having this split. So Mercy, step forward. John Kennedy, step forward. Mercy, I need you to join Team SEAL. John Kennedy, you join the girls.
The reason why we've done this is we feel everybody needs to step up. Mercy, JFK, you've been behind the scenes. We want to bring you to the forefront and with added responsibility of being the team leaders for the next challenge. So both of you have to show us grit. What are you made of? Thank you and good night.
And good luck.
Good luck. Major entrepreneurs tell us, break rules to create new rules. But there are clear rules that should not be broken. And this time, rules were broken. Their grit is becoming more visible, and they're learning from each other, from the judges, from the show, from the challenges.
It was hard for me because I felt I brought a lot of clarity to the team. Of course, it could have gone either way, but it went this way. So everything happens for a reason.
Let's expect more from them. Right now, they're just settling in. It's like you're in a new school, you have to know your environment first. So I'm giving them time. I'm sure next episode, with the fact that now team leaders have changed, it will be different.
When something doesn't go your way, you have different views of what shouldn't have done, but I feel like it doesn't count anyway. This is a step of the many steps that are going to come in life. So check your emotions.